South Carolina Gamecocks, represented by head coach Chad Holbrook, student athletes Marcus Mooney and Gene Cohn. Coach, would you make an opening statement, please?
Well, it's an exciting time for us. Obviously, it's what these kids have worked hard for so long to have the opportunity to play in a Super Regional. We're awfully fortunate to get to play it at home in our facility at Founders Park in front of our fans. It's a great honor to be in this position, and we're looking forward to going out there and hopefully playing our best baseball. We know that we're playing a heck of an opponent in Oklahoma State. Their pitching staff's incredible. They have strong, big, physical guys that can really swing the bat. They play great defense. They're a great team. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. But that being said, it's supposed to be at this time of year when you're in a Super Regional. So our players are excited. We've had a good week of practice. We've tried to recover from the regional as best we can. I think we're getting close to being about 100% recovered, and hopefully we'll be ready to go tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
For both of you, can you talk about your preparation for playing in some pretty extreme heat tomorrow afternoon? It's going to be right at the hottest part of the day is when you guys are taking the field.
Yeah, well, it all starts today. I mean, we got to hydrate starting now. Thanks for the waters, but that's one of the main things you got to do. Just be ready for the 100-degree weather this weekend.
For either of you, with the draft going on, how hard is it to stay focused and keep your mind on Oklahoma State with picks being rattled off during practice and during games tomorrow?
Well, we're just kind of focused on the task at hand. At least I think I am. I think everybody else is. It's related to the draft this year. So I think we've been working hard for the baseball this weekend, tomorrow, and hopefully go out there and get us some wins.
Gene, when you see what Oklahoma State did last weekend, winning at Clemson and winning pretty convincingly in every game, just how impressive is that, and what do you know about them?
I watched them play a few innings. They had some really good-looking arms from what I saw, and some good-looking bats, play defense. I mean, anybody that's made it this far is going to be very, very talented and polished. So we're going to have to play our best baseball, and, hopefully we get some calls and some balls fall our way. All right.
Marcus, from how the regional ended to where you guys are now, what did you learn about this team, and how big of an advantage is it for you to play this Super Regional at home in this environment based on what you guys just went through at home last weekend?
Mm-hmm. Well, we dropped game 1 to Rhode Island and put our backs against the wall, so it's really impressive to see how we bounced back from that and came ready to play the next day and day after that, and we didn't falter. We wanted to battle back and win, so hopefully that'll carry on to this weekend against a good Oklahoma State team.
Marcus, I think it was about a year ago this time, Coach Holbrook sitting up there talking to us about how it's going to be the hardest offseason that you guys have ever had, and now you're at this point. How proud are you guys at how far you've come to get to this point, or is there time to even think about that?
There's been a little bit of a time to think about it. I mean, I think we've impressed ourselves with how hard we've worked in the offseason, fall ball and everything, but, I mean, it's not over yet, so we're going to keep practicing as hard as we can, doing whatever we can to hopefully move forward after this weekend.
For either one of you guys, how hard has it been to recover from that monster weekend last weekend?
Like I said earlier, we're just kind of trying to look forward toward this task that we got this weekend with Oklahoma State, and but I mean, as regard to how hard it's actually been, I mean, we're excited, so I wouldn't say it's been hard at all, to be honest with you.
Gina, as a guy growing up watching the Gamecocks, kind of living through those College World Series runs, realizing that you're on the precipice of Omaha, that if you take care of business this weekend, you could be there. Does it kind of set in with you? What's kind of the mental feeling about it? Have you thought of? I'm sure you have to think about it every day. That's the ultimate goal. But how does it kind of go through your mind?
Well, yeah, Omaha obviously is the ultimate goal. But I just kind of hope we keep this momentum that we got from this previous weekend and keep it rolling into tomorrow, and hopefully get 2 wins this weekend and move on to Omaha.
Any questions for Coach Holbrook? Start in the back.
Coach Holbrook, talk about the fact that you're on the field practicing and Braden Webb gets a phone call. He has to take a break. He has to have a discussion about being the 83rd pick in the draft. It's a great thing for him, but you're kind of in the middle of doing something. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I could stand up here and talk about that a long period of time, and it wouldn't do anything but get myself in trouble. It's difficult, but at least it wasn't between innings of one of his starts, so it could be worse, and Braden's hazing the barn as far as his work and his preparation is concerned, and, it's those kids' dreams to have a chance to play in Major League Baseball or have a chance to reach the majors, and getting drafted is a huge day for those guys, and I certainly wanted to make sure that they got a sense of enjoyment out of it. Do I think it's the right timing? No. Does it put us in a little bit of a difficult spot as a team, especially some of those college teams that are playing today? Yes, it's not a great system at all, not even close. But yet, we're not playing today, and that's okay for us. That makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. And Braden's been through a lot. He's had a tough injury. He's battled back. He took a year off. Kid was projected to be a first or second rounder before he went down, with his elbow injury in high school. And for him to get a chance to get drafted again and pretty darn high, I couldn't be happier for him as his coach. And he's certainly done a lot for our program. And hopefully he'll certainly throw well and continue to leave a lasting impression on Gamecock Nation, because he's been terrific for us.
As college baseball coaches, where do you take your concerns about the draft's timing? I mean, who do you go to, and how much response have you gotten?
I don't think there's anything we can do. One, if we did, I don't know if we'd be heard. So it's just Major League Baseball and professional baseball, and we try like crazy to cater to them and make sure our players are available to them, 365 days a year, and that door is always open, because I know my players' dreams are to play in Major League Baseball. So we do our best to accommodate them. It's just, I wish, like crazy, it could be tweaked a little bit so they could accommodate us in our most important time of the year.
You decided how the pitching rotation will go this weekend?
We're wrestling with it, and Coach Myers is meeting with a couple pitchers right now. I'm gonna meet with Coach Myers after the press conference, and it's gonna be Braden or Clark, and they're our two freshest arms, and they're ready to go. But I don't know, and I'm not gonna name a Game 2 starter, because all hands are on deck. We're gonna go about this Super Regional a little bit different than we've gone in the past as far as a regular weekend series, because of how far we were extended last week. So we're going to throw everybody out there that we can to try to win the game tomorrow. And if both of those guys I just mentioned throw, then both of them throw. I don't know if this is a perfect setup for us, but we're as fresh as we could be. The guys have bounced back very well, and so we feel good that we can get some innings out of Clark and Braden and Tyler and all our guys. They've bounced back very, very well. But I don't know if I can sit here and say, hey, Braden, go give us 7 or 8 tomorrow. I don't know, or Clark. I don't know if they're in that position. So we're going to have to do it as a team, as the entire pitching staff. And I'm not going to name a Game 2 starter because of that reason. And but we'll decide here in the next couple hours for sure who will start. And after we get done with meeting with a few of the guys, and based on how they felt out there throwing the ball in their light work.
What makes Oklahoma State so strong on the mound as a team? Obviously, they're pretty strong all across the board with several different arms.
They're very, very well coached. I mean, they're coached by one of the best pitching coaches in the country. They're well schooled. They throw strikes. They have some power arms. They have pitchability. They can match you up. They can do it. They can do it all. I mean, it's you know, I feel like we're playing Vanderbilt or Florida or, you know, any SEC school that's loaded with pitching. They're that good and maybe better. So, yeah, you know, Hatch, the kid's doing. I mean, he may be one of the best pitchers in college baseball. His purity, pitchability, polish, any pitch, any count, how he goes about his business is very, very impressive. And so we're facing one of the better guys in the country tomorrow. It's no different than facing Logan Shore at Florida or, you know, any of the best guys that we've seen thus far. He's in the elite of the elites of college baseball. So, and that's how their whole staff is. They play great defense. They're a terrific team.
Along those lines, you know, the pitching staff's the ones that gets the publicity, but at the same time, you know, they got pretty stout hitting, particularly of late. What impresses you about them as you've delved into what they bring to the lineup?
I mean, they have athletes in spots that can really run and athletic. Donnie Walton may be the best true college baseball player. I mean, he's terrific. I mean, reminds me a lot of Alex Bregman at LSU a year ago. I mean, he stirs their drink. I mean, he's just really, really good, special. Their leader. But they got other guys that can hurt you. Long ball, they can hurt you. They can hurt you with a stolen base. They can hurt you with the short game. They're just a very, very well-balanced team in all aspects, offensively, defensively, obviously pitching staff. And I think Donnie is kind of he's their go-to guy. He's their guy that gets them going. And there's, you know, they've had some stretches where they went through some cold stretches offensively this year like we did. And but they're not cold right now. And so – we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Chad, you couldn't have known for certain when you sat up here last year telling us things were going to get fixed and these guys are going to work as hard. I mean, how proud are you of how they've responded to get to this point?
Well, I'm very proud of them. I mean, it's I've been lucky to be a part of some special teams. Close-knit teams. This is as close a team as I've ever been a part of. And it's not necessarily the most talented team I've ever been a part of, but it is the closest. They're selfless. The camaraderie they have, I've been saying it, but there's something special about it. And that's not anything I can do or a coach. You just got good kids with good character that enjoy being around each other. And they've pushed each other. They supported each other when things weren't great. It's been really, really neat to be a part of that. They've made me awfully proud that I've been able to associate myself with them just because of the way they've gone about their business. And very rarely do you get 35 guys in a locker room all on the same page. And they've been all on the same page all year long. And that's been a joy for me to be around that.
Chad, as your team was fighting its way through the losers bracket in the regional, you said that you needed to find a way to help them relax. Well, you win the 4 straight elimination games. What are you seeing this week? Are they more relaxed? And even if they are you still looking for something to help in that category?
And I think that double down the line that Taylor hit against Duke, that kind of relaxed them. And it wasn't anything I did, even though I was trying to find something. There's no perfect answer in this game when it comes to take a deep breath and just be who you are and let you know, I could tell them all the time, just let your hair down and play baseball like you're a 12-year-old in the backyard, you know, and relax and play. And it's hard to do when you're under the microscope like these kids are, but they found a way to do it over the last 4 games. And, you know, they've been great in their preparation this week. The practices have been – I hadn't seen any sense of anything different. You know, and I think our kids are prepared. I mean, we're battle-tested. I mean – and as is Oklahoma State. But we've played some great teams, and we've been in some tough series, and we've played some great opponents. So it's nothing new for them other than the fact that this is Super Regional. There's a lot on the line. And I've tried to help them focus just on the task at hand, and let's just worry about trying to win this series. And you know, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself. And the fact that I don't want them to say, hey, we're playing for a chance to get to Omaha. That's not what I try to tell them. I try to tell them, hey, we're playing for a chance to win a series, and let's deal with where we get to go after we can accomplish that, because it's hard. It's hard on kids. The kids get to this point, and, you know, if you start thinking about some things, that in itself can be a distraction. And I've tried like crazy to eliminate that for them, and they've already made me proud, and hopefully they're in position to play their best. I think they are. They're relaxed, and they showed me a lot the last 4 games in that regional, battling out of that.
With most of their pitching staff being right-handed, and you guys have obviously a lot of left-handed bats, does that help you guys at all? And do you feel like you've done better against righties this year?
Well, you know, I know some people write that we rather see righties. I hadn't really thought about that. I know you know, with Dom and Destino and Cone in there, that a lot of opponents have thrown lefties at us. But, you know, good righties have gotten us out from time to time as well. So it's hopefully the matchup's a good one for us, but they got really good arms. And, you know, it may affect a couple things here and there with what I do with the lineup, but I mean, all in all, I mean, we you know, you go to Vanderbilt and you face great right-handers. You play Florida, you face great right-handers. I don't look at it as an advantage that they got all righties, because their righties are elite, and we got our work cut out for us. Doesn't matter if they're right or left-handed.
Chad, you mentioned Braden, you mentioned Hatch. Those are guys 12, 15 years ago, they would have gotten drafted out of high school and they would have gone pro. Do you think college pitching is deeper across the board, and what has college baseball done to kind of show these guys, those kind of talented guys, that you can come to college and be successful and still make the pros?
Well, there's a lot of things. That's another thing I could sit here and talk about for a long time. But obviously college baseball is very highly thought of, not only from a fan's perspective, but also I think Major League Baseball has respect for the job that a lot of college coaches are doing with arms, and from a development standpoint. And you see a lot of organizations that tend to like taking kids from college because of maturity. They're battle tested. They've been coached. They've been out of life on their own a little bit, so they don't worry about them off the field as much. So, you know, the college pick, or the college elite draft pick, has kind of been labeled as a safe pick for organizations, and because of a lot of those reasons. And there's more, but I just think that, you know, there's all kinds of ways to look at it, but there's a lot of great college baseball coaches out there as far as the way they handle pitchers, and I think Major League Baseball and a lot of organizations see that and respect that and know that they're getting a finished product, so to speak, when they draft them, and their path to the big leagues may be a little bit quicker than if you draft an 18-year-old kid that's got to, you know, take time to develop and grow and mature and all those kind of things. So I think there's a lot of things that you could talk about in regards to that, but I think those are the few of the things that stick out to me.
How impressed were you with the way Oklahoma State went up to Clemson and handled that environment and got through the regional with relative ease?
I watched a couple of the games, and yeah, I mean, it was certainly impressive. I mean, anytime you go on the road and you go into that environment and play the way they played, it's certainly got to be impressed. And but I was impressed with them before the regional. I mean, I watched a couple games on TV early in the year, and I knew that they were good. And talked with a couple buddies throughout the coaching profession, and they rant and raved about how good they were. And I obviously got to see it firsthand last weekend on TV. But no, I mean, we've been very impressed with them for a long time, and known Josh and their coaching staff for a long period of time, and we have the utmost respect for them. They're going to be well coached team in all phases, and you know, it's going to be the team that plays the best is going to win. And because I think we're both kind of evenly matched, and you got to perform, and the team that performs the best in all the 3 phases is going to be the team that wins.
To prepare for a team that you haven't seen this year as opposed to maybe somebody else who you played 3 times?
I think it's refreshing, honestly. I think it's always great to play a team in the NCAA tournament that you haven't played. I think that's one of the neat things about the NCAA tournament is playing a team from another power conference is pretty cool. I like that, and I think that should be one of the byproducts of the NCAA tournament. And I think the committee tries to do that when they can. And I know Coach Tanner was a big fan of that, playing an opponent that you haven't seen. And so is it a challenge? It's a challenge because how good they are. And that obviously going into this week, we weren't extremely familiar with them. But it's also refreshing that they don't know so much about us and we don't know so much about them. And We're not in the same league. We haven't played each other. Lots on the line. Let's go play. And I think that's what the NCAA tournament's all about.
Chad, you say these two teams are pretty evenly matched, but with OK State finishing their regional on Sunday night, you guys having to be pushed back to Tuesday, you feel like you're at any sort of disadvantage coming into this weekend?
Well, when I said that, I meant from a talent standpoint, but yeah, I think they have the upper hand in regards to they're being a little bit more fresher than we are. Not a little bit, probably a lot more. They weren't as taxed in their regional from a pitching standpoint as much as we were. Obviously, coming out of the losers bracket is very, very difficult. They didn't have to do that. They're well rested. We're not. But hopefully the adrenaline, the fact that we're playing at home, the motivation that we'll get from the stands, hopefully that'll level the playing field a little bit. But no, certainly they're in a better position than we are because of our path and their path and how easy they got through their regional and how difficult it was for us. So hopefully we've used the time to our advantage to recover. And hopefully it won't be that big of an advantage for them once the series starts tomorrow. But we'll have to wait and see.
You were just talking about Walton, and I was thinking about that with Mooney up there. Do you kind of think of him in that way, the guy that just goes out there, doesn't get the headlines, but goes out, takes care of business?
Well, Mooney's an emotional leader for us, and I'm sure Donnie's the same way with them. They're different players, and they go about it a different way. They're both very elite from a defensive standpoint. Donnie's their three-hole guy, so Mooney hits down in the order a little bit. But they both do a lot of the same things. They motivate their team. They play with emotion. Mooney plays with a lot of emotion. He gets our guys going. He's a senior leader for us. He's a big part of our team. And he gets the bunt down when you need him to get a bunt down. He get hit and run. If there's a big play to be made in the hole, he makes it. I wish that all 27 balls tomorrow night could be hit right at him. I feel good about our chances. But he's just he's been a joy. Mooney's been a joy for us. I mean, just a tough, emotional, competitive little sucker, and loves to play baseball. And I love to coach guys like that. Thanks.